Good morning, guys. Welcome back. So if you haven't seen the previous episodes, we've done a thorough wheel clean, a thorough decon wash, and both the chemical and the mechanical decontamination steps. So the car's now ready to be treated to a polishing treatment. But I just want to give you a bit of a kind of look back on the paint and explain to you what's going to happen next and why. So about 2.5 years ago, I've corrected the paint, and basically the car was perfect, and we didn't coat it on purpose. So the reason why we don't coat our cars, I mean, some cars are coated because I know, like, the maintenance and just the ease of use in a car that is not on show all the time. It's just easier just to wash a coated car. But the reason we didn't coat this car is because we knew that this would be the test car, the show car. So we've got a lot of product to actually apply to a car. So basically, if you've got a high grade silica coating on the car, and let's say you use a bad spray wax, for example, the spray wax would sit on top of a coating or on top of a surface that is repellent, that is glossy, all those things. So when you, let's say you do a detergent test, you do a durability, slickness, water behavior, anything like that. So when you do that sort of test and the wax is not the best, for example, what you're going to see is the wax perform very, very well because it's already sat on top of a repellent coating. So what that would achieve is basically a false economy, where you would look at a car and go, right, this is the one because of all these reasons, so let's push it into production. So obviously that's not the case. So we purposefully left the car uncoated. So at the minute the car's got a tapestry of protection on it. So some panels are protected in this or this. I won't reveal all because it'll reveal some of our developments, but and some panels aren't actually even protected at all because the reason is we're looking at the adjacent panels. So if you've got, let's say, the wing, the door, and the rear wing, the door might not even be coated in anything, because you would then look at the front wing and the back wing and see kind of with the behavior and what's lasting where. So this was kind of our thought process of not coating this car. We've been testing certain products where the main goal for the product is lubricity. So we've done extreme tests where we've driven the car for 2-3 weeks and we've tried to do a waterless wash on the car. So that is never perfect, no matter what product in the world it is. There are some very, very good products, and of course we're trying to beat them. However, still, wiping a car which is especially 2 to 3 weeks old in terms of dust, dirt, is not a wise idea. However, extreme tests have to be done because you can't test it on a lightly soiled car. So the reason I'm explaining you all this is because when I'm about to show you the paint, so it's been 2.5 years on, with all the extreme tests that we've done, we've hit it with every chemical in the world, and when I show you the paint, it's actually in very, very good condition. So it's a testament to the protection that we do have on the car, or the panels where the protection is. Also down to just pure proof about the safe washing procedures. I mean, the car's done 37,000 miles in our ownership in about 2.5 years, so it's above average mileage. So it's a testament to the wash procedure, the protection, and just the methods that we employ to keep a car looking the way it looks now. So just before I show you the paint, I'm going to kind of walk through what we have for the first kind of potential corrective step in the paint. So I'll start from here. It's got a magnet on there. So basically, this is probably one of the most important tools that you're going to use on the corrective kind of stage. So this is a scan grip. So this is a color match light. It's really, really good for detailing, paint shops, especially when you're trying to do a color accurate match, and the color depth of the paint is really important. So this light I use on the cool setting now. So it's got obviously 2 brightness settings, but if you want to kind of imitate the sunlight, there we go. So that's more of a natural light. I prefer the cool. There we go. So I prefer the cool light, and it's not a focused lens, so it's more of a kind of like a fan like this, so it kind of like covers further paint away from where you're trying to correct, because it also helps seeing where you've corrected, you know, like the 50/50s. So that's what we'll be employing on the cutting stages, obviously on the refining stages, but if the cut's good, you don't really need to kind of recheck your work on the refining stages. We do sometimes anyway, just to make sure everything's going correctly. Now I've got two sets of pads here, both like the harshest and the softest pads. So I'll start with the harshest. So you've got the microfiber pads, as you can see, two different sizes. So this is a 5-inch, this is a 3-inch. So for two different machines, obviously. So this is for the LHR Mark II Rupes machine, 15mm orbit. You'll probably do 95% of the work with this machine, both on the cutting and the refining stage. And the 3-inch pad is for the LHR 75 Mini. And basically this machine is going to hit areas that obviously you can't hit with a big machine. So anywhere in the curves, super tight panels, or if you're doing any edge work. So I've got the microfiber pads just in case, because I'm about to show you a cluster of scratches from forward, like I keep mentioning. So potentially that might need a cut. Not sure yet, because I haven't done the test panels. And again, you've got, so in fact, this company, I had a company contact us saying, can we send you some pads out? These are kind of like a new prototype or about to be released. So we thought, why not? So they sent us a few pads. We're going to try it on the car. There's nothing more to do with that. And again, we've got the Hex Logic, super soft black pads. I love these pads. So again, the big one for the big machine, small one for the small machines, and that's for the refining stage. Just in case, we've employed our favorite. So some clear cut. I've used so many compounds. I think this is the benchmark at the minute. It is for us anyway. So in case we do have to cut the car, clear cut is going to be utilized on the microfiber pads. And I thought I would bring you in a little bit on what the membership people see as well. So this won't go on the membership because it's going here, so I don't want to duplicate a video. But with this product, this is our first variant of a very fine refining polish. Again, this is going to be a long project. I'm not going to lie. This is going to take years. However, we're starting now, and we'll see where it takes us. I've always said to anybody who asks us, do you do an all-in-one polish and all of this malarkey, which is just false. I always say no, because I say two things. It takes time and it takes money, and a lot of the both. If you want to beat the big boys at what they do, so for example this, if you want to better what they have, which is already, I would say, a 95% product. If you want to go that further 5 steps, you need the time and you need a lot of cash. So we're starting it slow. So this is V1. We're going to be implementing this on the car. So I thought I'd take you guys along, because this is exactly what the guys on the membership see, new stuff coming along and how we develop it. So I just thought I'd give you a sneak peek of what's going to happen. Really excited with this. I've already kind of tested it on a spare panel, and it's good, but it still needs some tweaking. So it's going to be implemented on the test car. Now moving along, probably on the cutting stage, we'll be looking at using about this many towels. I like to flip my towels quite often. So I think, I don't know, what's that, 25? More than likely. If you can, here's a task. Pause the video and count the towels. I just picked them out the cupboard, the biggest bunch I could grasp without dropping them. So again, microfiber towels, I said this is one of the most important things. Microfiber towels is probably the most important thing, just in detailing in general. It is really, there's a lot of technology behind premium microfiber in terms of softness, absorbency, the leveling of products, any product that is. So there is a lot of tech, and especially if you're doing a full paint correction, you need a towel that can absorb, not scratch, and utilize many of the fibers without implementing any more damage onto the panel that you're trying to fix. I've got a little bit of panel wipe. So the use for this is, so the car's already been panel wiped off the car, off the camera. The reason for this is when we're doing the test spot, or when we are not sure, when you've got a heavy area of kind of damage. So we always like to wipe this down with a little bit of panel wipe, but it's mainly on the test spot, and that's just to give us a true reflection of what the polish and the pad combination is doing. After the test spot, more than likely this will be put back into the cupboard, because we will just literally wipe the car down after the whole process is done, ready for the protection. And you've got 3 sets of machine that we're going to utilize. And these 3, I would 100% say you need them in your arsenal. So the first one, I'll start with the smallest one. So I've kept most of the pads in the cupboard. The reason is this machine will probably do 0.1% of the work. So this is the Rupes Hybrid Nano, the long neck variant. I prefer the long neck. You don't really need the short neck, but some people like it. So it's got a few different backing plates. It's got a few different kind of settings as well. You can use that as a dual action, or you can use that as a rotary. We use it in the dual action setting, just easy, and it's better for us. So this pad is, so it'll go something like this. That's perfect, and this is just to get into the areas that the 3-inch machine probably can never get. Now, if you have a car or an area that even this can't get, you change the backing plates, and I'll just show you the example. In fact, for the sake of education, I will apply. So you can see there's a huge, huge overhang of the backing plate. Obviously, that's not how you use this. So again, this pad is for like the most intricate area that you can probably never get to. So the hybrid will be used on certain areas potentially. Now the 2 powerhouses in our arsenal, and I think in most people's arsenals. So this is the LHR 15. So the 15 denotes the throw of the plate. So 15mm throw, so it gets a lot more work done rather than just spinning in a smaller circle. So LHR 15 Mark II, so there is a new machine out, so the Mark III, so we need to go and buy that as well. But from what I've heard, the benefits, you're probably looking 25% over this machine. So it's not a rush to buy, but this variant over the Mark I was a huge leap. So obviously this is the machine to have, I believe. This will probably do 90% of the work. So I've got the white kind of wrapped up just to keep it neat for now, but it denotes, so you've got a nice carbon fiber bezel, obviously number 15 there. You've got the detailing just to show you that, I mean, this machine was designed for the detailers. So this will do probably 95% of the work. And I would honestly say, I think LHR 75, I think this is my all-time favorite machine. So it's the 3-inch pad that will go on this, so something like this. Well, in fact, this is a 4-inch pad, so I'll explain during the polishing why I like a bigger pad. But there we go. 3-inch, fits perfectly on the machine. Obviously, that's not straight, but that fits perfectly on the machine. If you could polish the car with one polisher, I would probably say this is the one to get. So this is probably going to do the last 5 to 7%, edge work and stuff. I believe this works better in the edges. It's easy to control, and to get if you want to start running the edge, it's a lot easier. So those are the 3 machines that are going to be utilized in all the capacities on the car. Now, as I said, paint preservation is the most important thing that you need to look at here. It's not the finish, it's not how the car will look at the end, because the car will look amazing at the end. The main problem is how much paint do you remove? Now, I'm very dubious about cutting this car, as in having the mindset of let's compound, refine, done. That would be the easy way. However, I know this car does not need compounding, apart from a few areas. So what I might do, and this is exactly why we're doing the test spots now, I may kind of make a hybrid. So we're going to start with the least aggressive combination first. So it'll be soft pad and a soft polish. So if that doesn't work, I may step it up to still a soft pad with a compound. So that is going to be tested on another panel of the car, and we'll see what happens with that. If that doesn't work, you're going to step it up one more step. So you'll do a microfiber with a refining polish. And this is probably where we'll be going towards more than likely. However, if obviously all else fails, so I know the bonnet, there's still a couple of sanding marks right on the edge. So more than likely they'll get compounded, but that's fine because aftermarket paint has got a lot. I think it's reading like a high number. So compounding the bonnet's not going to be a problem. It's the original paint that you've got to be careful of. So if all else fails, you'll be looking at microfiber and compound, which is probably your least preferable option because, again, it's more time consuming, you're removing more paint, and if you don't need to do it, you don't need to do it. So I'm going to turn off the lights and we'll have a look. So you could see, for example, the wing is looking nice. So again, nice little refinement on it. Pop out as much gloss as you can. Now, as you move towards, say, the wing mirror, you will see a mark or cluster of marks that I keep referring to. Here we go. Now, this is very strange. So obviously this is where Ford have been leaning in to do whatever they were doing in the engine bay. So this is very, very strange. As you can see, it's really tight. And what this indicates, more than likely, either the car's been wiped or it's been lent on by jeans with buttons or belt, who knows. But just to give you an example, you move from something like this to this. Very strange, but if you keep going on to, let's say, the passenger door, for almost 2.5 years with the maintenance, it's looking amazing. Right, so we're going to do a test spot in this area. Now you've seen how bad it is, and this will be a good example of what can be done. Now, if I can one-step this car, it will be nice, but we'll see. So the pad's already been primed, so we'll see what happens. So usually I like to move the polish about, firstly, and then really slow down my passes. Let's have a look. Total lifesaver if this was a one-step process. Oof, that has removed, I would say 95%, I think. Yeah, so basically all up in the edge work, there's some deeper scratches leading into the panel gap. And yeah, so it's a little bit of an edge here and on the edge. So what we're going to do is, so that's a one-step process complete. So I've blown my pad out. I like to do it anyway, even though it's a new pad, just to make sure it hasn't picked up any dust while in storage. Now, as I said, so the edge work is, there's a few deeper scratches as always. So what I'm going to do is usually prime the pads. Really, it's really important with microfiber, especially to prime it. So this is the hybrid that I was talking about. Realistically, it's from experience. I know that I could have gone to a foam pad to a compound, but realistically, I think this might be the ticket. So a few small dots, and we'll just focus in more on the edge work. and see. I think this might be the ticket. No, I don't want to run the edge too much, but we'll see. I think this might be the one. Oh yeah, look at the way that just wipes off. Absolutely beautiful. Very, very nice. There we go. That's the ticket. Now, like I've always said on my car, so I mean, forward paint, medium at best. Now, I think mine's on the slightly softer side of medium. So basically, with the finishing polish and the soft pad, what's that done? Obviously, it's removed 95%. So anywhere in the middle cluster here is completely gone. But the edge work, because I didn't run the edge as much. So that was left behind. Now the compounding phase, well, the medium compounding phase, so the microfiber and the finishing polish, what's that done? That's obviously took out the remaining things on the edge because I ran it, so both sides up and down. Now, because the paint on the softer side, it's left its own damage in terms of it's got a little bit of hazing now. So if I move back to normal paint, yeah, so just a little bit of overwipe. So you could definitely see like a gray haze. It's very minor. However, that just indicates that it's the softer side of paint because that combination is not that aggressive. So if I was even to add a compound into it, it'll haze up even more. Now the good thing is so with I already know that the finishing polish and the refining pad, when we did the initial test spot, that's left completely no haze, so completely sharp reflections, and the gloss is just amazing. So I know that with all of this now, this tiny little basically micro swirls, micro haze, this will get removed again with the original step, soft pad, soft polish. So that is the ticket. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to one-step the entire car. So refining pad, refining polish. Now, if there's any edge work or any harsher materials or any harsher like scratches, then obviously you've seen the combination. It just knocks it out immediately. So we're going to do that. The whole point is I'm going to try and reduce as much paint removal as I can. So one step, so I'm going to be constantly checking it with the light. I would say about 95% of the car will get done this way. May have to compound a few of the high traffic areas. So probably anywhere from the wing, the two front wings, the bonnet, the front bumper should be fine. I haven't inspected it actually, but it might be fine, it might not be, because obviously once the bonnet's up, people might be leaning in from the front. So we'll inspect that area, and obviously I know the bonnet's got really hard paint, so that's not an issue. You can really hammer down on the paint over there, but so it's a one step, and we'll continue the paint polishing process.